And joining us with more on this new survey are Cosmopolitan's editor-in-chief, Kate White, and relationship expert, Ian Kerner. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, the story that we just saw said that 61% of the men surveyed by Cosmo say men have it harder today than previous generations. But Cosmo also, of course, asked women what they thought, and 58% of them said they think men today have it easier than previous generations. Kate, why is this?
Well, guys are struggling, young guys. They don't rule the workplace anymore, and they're not sure often of what they want or how they're going to get it. And so that to them, it's a struggle. But I think women sometimes see it as slacking off. You know, he's been living in his parents' basement for 3 years working on his screenplay, and it looks like, hey, he's got it easier. So I think it's more the vantage point you're looking at the situation from. Ian,
what do you say?
Well, you know, as a sex and relationship therapist, I have a kind of a particular vantage, which is through what's happening in the American bedroom. And I would say that I'm truly absolutely stunned at the rates of men who suffer from low libido, who have no desire in their relationships, who are really truly experiencing this. And when you ask them what's wrong, they just say, you know, I'm just not feeling myself. I'm not doing as well at work. I'm not accomplishing my dreams. And I think so much for men comes into their self-esteem in their relationships and their lives, and so much of their self-esteem is derived from the workplace.
Then why don't the women in their lives see it that way? Why do the women say that they think guys have it easier today?
Well, I think like Kate said, I mean, you do have a lot of guys who are able to postpone their adolescence into their 20s, into their 30s, and they're married, and, you know, they're still willing to sleep on their Star Wars sheets if they have their way. So, I mean...
Yeah, that's not going to fly, okay? Next, 67% of the men surveyed and 73% of the women surveyed said men today are less ambitious than they were a generation ago. Ian, why is that?
Well, I think when you look at the opportunities that are available to men, when you look at, I meet kids who are graduating from college, who are graduating from graduate schools, and you look at the opportunities that are available to them, there's not a whole lot for them to be ambitious about right now in this economy. I think, you know, this has been a prolonged state of economic plummet and stasis, and I think the young guys are feeling it the most. They're coming out of plenty of education, saddled with debt, ready to conquer the world, and there's nothing to conquer for them.
Also, the workplace, the landscape there is changing so that the kind of skills that mattered in the Mad Men days, like being a gamesman and aggressive and really competitive, don't make it today in management. You want to be, traditionally, the female skills like being a good listener and communicating and nurturing and being a team builder, those are what really matter. So I think sometimes guys don't even know, how do I be ambitious? What are the skills I need?
Okay, moving on to finances. 79% of the men surveyed and 85% of the women surveyed said men define success as a measure of financial status. That's not surprising, right, Kate?
No, that's a traditional view that we've really held on to in relationships, definitely.
In the final seconds, the real question is, how do men feel that a lot of women today are bringing home more money than their spouses? Yeah. How do guys feel about that, Ian?
My wife frequently makes more money than I do in a year, and I'm frequently the one who's the stay-at-home dad, and we do take turns doing it. And I think that's the future, is, you know, two family incomes, both husband and wife out there working, conquering the world together. And I think my generation of men and younger generations of men are okay with it. We get it that women...
Yeah, and I think women just want to know the guy is passionate about something, that he's going to do his share at home, and she really isn't going to care how much he makes as long as he does those other things.
You got to pull your weight somehow. It doesn't have to maybe be the paycheck. Kate White, Ian Kerner, thanks so much.